stay focused, man.
I'm just saying.
Focused, man.
We good.
I want us to do the right thing for this client.
So we just gonna get real with them.
We have to.
I just like to be like a little bit more advanced if you could.
It's always something.
Please do not be driven by money in your decisions. I just want to make sure I point that out. I'm a Christian-based realtor.
Let's be clear.
I can do it. So can you.
Not where I was going with this. All right. Where I was going to go with this.
Hey family, this is Kenny and Tanika Donnell. We are hosts of the RealT Podcast, and man, do we have a treat for you.
We are so excited today.
This is family right here.
Right here.
This is family. I almost don't want to even introduce him to you because once you know who he is,
Y'all gonna try to steal him.
you're gonna be trying to hijack him. Listen, this is our family member, our love, our blood, our relationship, Chef Paul Ritter.
Thank you, Chef.
Honored to be here. Honored to be here. Thank you so much for
We
having
had
me.
to have you on because we, first of all, we love you. And second of all, we love what you've done.
Yeah.
You are promoting healthy lifestyles, healthy living. And so we had to share that with everyone. So I hope you're ready for some chit chat today regarding that.
I am. And before we even get started, I want to congratulate you on all your success.
Thank you. God is so good.
And
Thank
everything
you.
that you're doing here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, y'all. I love the black love that y'all produce every day, every week. And if y'all don't know, she the baddest real estate.
Oh Lord.
See,
Listen to what he's saying, y'all.
Here we go. This is
I
not
appreciate
about, you know what? This is what Paul does.
This is what he does.
This is what
Quintessential networker.
Ultimate networker, 100% always make sure everybody, this is about you.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself to these people.
Who's Chef
Tell
Paul?
them who Chef Paul is, and we're going to get
And you
into
teach.
it.
So
Okay, stop giving everybody else flowers.
Okay,
We're giving you flowers today.
well, thank you, Kenny. My name is Paul Ritter. I've been in the health and wellness industry now going on 18 years.
Wow.
And it all started from a devastating event. My mom had a massive heart attack.
Yeah.
And you know, when you hear heart attack, parent,
Yeah.
you don't know what the recovery is going to be like.
Have no clue.
To God be the glory, she had a full recovery, but in that process, they put her on 12 medications. She gained over 100 pounds. She wasn't happy. So in our journey, it just took us down a whole nother life path where we got really interested in holistic healing and how she could get better. And within a year, she did get better.
Within a year.
She was off all 12 medications, and the seed was planted in me that Dr. Brown watered. He said, you need to share with people what you and your mom did. And so from that pain, from that seed, now 18 years later, 9 or 10,000 clients later, meeting people like you. You know, if y'all don't know, we do life together.
We doing it, yeah.
And so it has just been an amazing journey on, you know, I always share with people, people say, well, how do you know what you're called to? I say, whatever your pain is, get through that, and that's going to be on the other side. Your purpose is going to be waiting.
Right there.
It's going to be waiting.
Well, you're definitely in your purpose.
Yeah.
I would say that. One of the things that we love about what you've done is you've changed how we eat, and the realization and understanding of how feeding your temple is so important, what you put in. We're teaching our girls this. So this is something that can help generations. So tell us a little bit about that.
Wait, hold on. Hold
What?
on. That made me think about
What?
the first time Paul walked into our kitchen.
Yes.
And we're doing this consultation, and Paul starts breaking down milk product, dairy.
Oh, Lord, yes.
As Paul is, I'm cleaning out, I'm taking stuff out the refrigerator.
He's
getting
I'm
drastic,
pouring
y'all.
stuff
Drastic.
out.
And
Paul's
Tanika's like, what are you doing?
Wait a minute, like, whoa. Yeah, it was funny.
Paul is like,
That was so much money,
That's
y'all.
not
I was
good.
like, what?
I'm cleaning the whole pantry out. Listen, the consultation that you do with Paul, what you did with us that
life-changing.
first time is life changing. Take us through. Sorry, take us through it.
Well,
not your consult.
No. In the consultation, you know, I really get into what you like to eat for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. You know, for the ladies, I ask you how much you weigh.
Yeah.
You know,
You
and
sure did.
yeah. And then, we find out what you like to snack on, your favorite foods, how often you eat out. At the same time, I do get into the medicine side of what are you taking medically, And then I share information from dairy to water to sugar to salts to eating the right type of foods to educating you to what you need to move away from.
Correct. Yeah.
And then we put a plan together. And everybody's plan is different.
Yeah.
It's so funny because people see pictures on social media and they go, "Ooh, I want that." I say, "No, you have high blood pressure. You can't eat that." So everyone's plan is different. It's just not generically cooking.
Right.
It's a formula to make sure that we're getting optimum health and at the same time making sure it tastes good.
Hello.
Facts. One of the things I think that we were concerned about initially, because what you hear out there so often is you can't afford to eat healthy, right? It is
expensive.
It's so expensive to eat healthy, to shop right. And you came in and showed us not only alternatives to things, but how to shop right, that it is affordable, right? So when you're thinking from that perspective, and you have a client who is financially conscious, right? Why was that important to you to make sure that they understood that it is affordable?
For two reasons. One, in our community, let me be careful how I say it.
No, just say
a lot of African Americans live in food deserts.
Okay.
So they do not have the exposure to clean food. So when you associate the cost that I'm gonna have to go further to get cleaner food, and your assumption is the price point is higher, then you immediately shut down. So when I initially started doing this and trying to figure it out, put the plans together for people and showing them, and that's why I take everyone shopping.
That's right.
To show you how a Whole Foods is not more expensive than Walmart, especially when you count in how much you eat out every week.
Ooh, when you add that up.
Oh boy.
Oh
boy.
Yeah.
And that's what I do in the consultation. So when you take that number of how many times you eat out, which the average family eats out 10 to 14 times a week, that average meal is anywhere between $15 and $20.
Ouch.
Well, then guess what? Put that into your groceries.
Right.
And then you're actually saving money.
That's true.
And restoring your health. So it's a win-win on both ends. So for me, it was so important to show people how to shop, Kenny. Because you hear, oh, it's not expensive, but we don't go. We don't go.
Right.
We really don't go for ourselves.
Yeah.
We always rely on they.
Yeah.
And then I always ask, who is they?
Who is they?
And they never show up.
No. At all.
At all.
At all.
Ever.
And then we go and we hungry when we shopping.
Exactly.
So we grabbing all this stuff we don't need.
It's compounded.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was those two things, just showing people how if you just shift the money, then you're not really spending any more, and at the same time, your health is getting better week by week, day by day.
What I love about what you're doing also is that you're changing, it's like a ministry. You're impacting people's lives in a significant way. But I love when you share the stories about how you've taken maybe a cancer patient who was given so many different medications, and because of how you've helped them to change their diet, it has completely changed their life. It's completely changed their diagnosis.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So can you share a little bit about
You
that?
know, it's so challenging because when people get diagnosed with cancer or something that's serious, I mean, it's all serious.
Of course, but that, when you hear that C word, it's like,
they become afraid.
Yeah.
So many times, it's not that they don't want better, but you get so afraid and you just get locked into tradition. Go to the doctor, do whatever the doctor tells you to do. But I think now with the world that we're in, where technology is so available, people are open to more information.
True.
And the more information is just going back to where we came from, the Bible, the garden.
Okay.
And when we apply those principles of let food be your medicine, there's nothing that you can't heal the body from if you're willing to make it applicable in your life. But once again, we've been conditioned. When we get sick, what do? We go to the doctor. When we have, watch this, when we have a cold, what's the thing we feed our kids? Chicken noodle soup. Well, that's full of salt. but that's what we were
Yeah.
raised on.
That's facts.
So we have been so conditioned that.
Now wait a minute, Paul. You coming for the chicken noodle soup now?
Is that-
You here for the chicken noodle soup now?
He's coming
Do I
for
need
it.
to go take the
he's
chicken-
calling for the sodium.
We don't have no chicken noodle soup in our
I
pantry.
don't
do we?
have that.
I'm gonna take the chicken noodle soup out the pantry, but that's right. We don't have that in the pantry.
But we're so conditioned.
Yeah.
And so when I think for me with clients and people that get referred to me or I get introduced to their cancer, it only takes a week. Because
A week, Paul.
To do what?
to change their mindset. Because their energy goes up. And if they're already in a treatment program, they're getting blood work done every week.
That's true.
So then when they get their blood work taken and the doctor says, "What did you do this week?"
Ah.
And they go, and quite frankly, I usually tell them, don't mention
tell
what, don't
them, right,
tell.
don't tell.
They just say, "Oh, I just changed little things," and then they immediately are texting me their blood work. And I got to share this because Kenny and Tanika do this Monday morning. Is it called Monday morning?
Monday
Mindset?
morning mindset.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So y'all, they had me on about a month ago.
Yeah.
And this agent in Houston, who's not with TD Realty, I don't know why she's not, but she's doing her thing and doing
Just
well.
give it time.
Yeah, give her time.
Right.
So last week, I get a call. She's texting me while I'm doing some other things, so I couldn't answer. She's like, "I got amazing news. I got amazing news." She said, "I went to the doctor."
Wow.
And her testimony was outrageous. She says, "I'm no longer pre-diabetic. I'm no longer taking blood pressure medication." And this is all we've been doing
Virtual.
Wow.
virtual. And so, like I said, it doesn't take long.
Wow.
It doesn't take long. It doesn't take long for y'all.
No.
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 It doesn't. It doesn't. It's an immediate impact when you shift. But you mentioned the mindset piece, right? How do you, or are you even able to consult somebody to help them move that mindset?
Yes and no. I think both things can be true. Yes, I can consult, but you gotta want to change.
You gotta want to, yeah. You gotta want for yourself.
You gotta want for yourself.
Because you're the one that has to activate it.
You gotta activate it, and you cannot give anyone anything past their deserve level.
Now break that down.
So if you don't feel like you truly deserve to be healthy,
Wow.
you're not going to accept everything I'm saying to you.
Wow.
Because you feel like through conditioning,
Yeah.
well, your grandma had arthritis,
Uh-oh.
and your mama got blood pressure, so then that just means you have to have something. So you have to feel that you deserve not to be on medication.
Wow.
And we can't weigh anyone's deserve level. Regardless of what they say,
That's
Yeah.
good.
you know, the statement is, "What you do speak so loudly, I can't hear what you say." So you may say you want to be off medication, but
That's what
you
you're
still eating pork. You still doing this, so you can't give anyone anything past their deserve level. You know, my wife, she knows this. So we've been together for 7 years. She's never seen me take a medication.
Not one time.
Maybe a couple of times.
She's shaking her
in
head like,
seven-
no,
in
I
7
sure
years.
haven't.
She hears the phone.
And
Yeah.
because I don't feel I deserve to take a Tylenol. So you can't make me take it. Because I know the side effects of Tylenol. I know the side effects of aspirin. So why would I put myself in that deserve level when I'm better than Tylenol?
Oh boy. Now you coming for Tylenol. Boy, this podcast gonna be, woo, it's gonna be on up in here.
But saying that, you know, instead of Tylenol, X, Y, Z.
Z,
right.
Because you've done the research and you know
Right.
what
Exactly.
what is a better option.
What's a better option?
Yeah.
And many times to pain medication, things like that, the better option many times is you're hungry or you're thirsty.
What?
And so many times
You're dehydrated?
you're dehydrated. But once again, I found so many times you can't give anyone past what they feel they deserve.
Got it.
And until we raise our deserve level, so what you're doing with your kids now,
Yeah.
whether they realize it or not, they're eating the highest quality food they can get in America every week.
That's facts.
So when they go out, it may be good, but in the back of their mind, it's like,
Can I tell you a funny story?
Yeah.
So Taylor, our 14-year-old, takes her, you know, what you cook to school.
Yeah, for lunch.
And the kids are like, "Can we have your lunch?" Like they are eating out of her plate.
Yeah.
That's the impact that you're making.
Well, I
'Cause
hope they
know
ain't eating
you're
too much of it.
wow.
What?
I hope they ain't eating too much
Well,
of
you
it.
know, I'm just saying she shares it, but I'm just saying they desire to have that, and she's taking greens. She's taking everything that you're cooking, like
Right,
for real.
right.
For lunch.
And so they are trying to get it from her, which I thought is hysterical because, to your point,
You would think the kids would want this school food.
Yeah. But now the kids are, because you come over and cook, they want to cook. They want to cook healthy. They want to eat healthy. They understand the importance of vegetables. They desire vegetables. So, like I said, you are impacting generations with what you're teaching.
Well, you know, the Bible says, train up a child in the way that they should go and they should not depart from it.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell people, you can't give your child corn and think greens are coming up. It don't work that way.
Right.
Whatever you deposit, eventually it's going to flourish. Now they're going to move around a little bit, but at the end of the day, you're going to settle in what you were raised in.
Yeah.
And that's us as a culture, especially African Americans, when it's food. So to your point, Kenny, changing the mindset is challenging. I don't want to use the word frustrating, but it is very fascinating sometimes. It is very fascinating to see. Well, we go to church and we have the pastor pray over us. You know, Lord gonna get rid of this blood pressure. You know, he don't lay hands on everything. But as soon as church is over, you go eat pork. It got to work like that.
Right.
It's just like if we're on set now and we're thirsty, water is not going to gravitate over to us.
Boy, if it did.
Faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
So you have to put the work in. And the work is the biggest part, the mind.
The mind.
The mind.
We see that a lot.
Yes, we do.
You had mentioned earlier clean eating. Define that. What is clean eating?
So for me, clean eating is not all about weight loss because, you know, we're in summertime, everybody want to get the 2 piece, everybody trying to get a little slimmer. Clean eating to me is a lifestyle where you have better choices and you allow yourself to be human. Because guess what?
What?
Ain't nobody perfect.
Right.
Jesus
So
is the only
Jesus
one.
is the only person. And watch this. So he set the garden up,
That's right.
made it a perfect environment, and they still messed up.
Yep.
So we not as good as they were back then, so we're gonna mess up. So clean eating to me is giving you other choices at times that allow you to satisfy that craving, that niche, if it's something crunchy, if it's something sweet, but at the same time, you have a lifestyle that encompasses everything that you do. From what you drink, how you season it, what you cook with, and everything. And healthy living is not expensive. Okay. That's the other thing we got to get away from, thinking it's so expensive to live this lifestyle. It's not.
Not at all.
Not at all.
So can you give some examples? You know, people are listening, looking like, what are some small changes that they can make that make a huge impact? I mean, one thing for me that we're water drinkers, okay?
Right.
But talk to them about the type of water they should be drinking.
Right.
Little things like that could be helpful.
So you just want to find a good, clean alkaline water. Alkaline water is sold everywhere now.
It is.
You know, Walmart,
We get it from Sam's,
everywhere, Amazon. And so alkaline water is just a water that has a pH balance of 7 or higher.
And why is that important, Paul?
Because we want our bodies to be more alkaline than acidic. The more acidic your body becomes, the more susceptible you are to colds, diseases, everything.
Did everybody hear that?
So
I mean, that's good.
and little things like acid reflux is too much acidity in the body. Simple things like that. So change your water. Move away from dairy products. You know,
But Paul, we all love dairy.
Everybody loves dairy. Dairy is the thing.
Why? Why we gotta move from dairy?
Well, because dairy doubles your cholesterol.
Ooh, doubles it.
Doubles your cholesterol. And dairy is the second leading cause of every cancer.
Say that again.
Dairy is the second leading cause of every cancer. And so it's so amazing because when you go out to eat, every menu has tons and tons of dairy. Things intertwined, and we just eat it because that's what we've been conditioned to do. So for those of you that are going to watch the show, the replays and all of that stuff, instead of milk, move to rice milk. It's a better choice because it's made from brown rice. It's lactose-free, cholesterol-free, dairy-free.
And it tastes good, actually.
It actually tastes good.
Yeah.
Your kids love it.
I love it. We all. That's what we drink now.
And so if you just start making baby steps, it doesn't matter how you get there. Just get there.
Right.
Whether you change 10 things at once or 2 things this week, 2 things next week, 2 things next week. So get some alkaline water, Move away from dairy. Get away from those spreads. If you're gonna do butter, do unsalted butter or Earth Balance, which is the vegan butter.
Okay.
And you can just make baby step changes, and in the process of the changes, you taste that and you go, oh, that's good, so let me try something else. And you just keep moving down that road till eventually you have it all shifted to where it needs to be.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Paul. Let's talk a little bit about eating times, right? So there's a lot of information out there. Matter of fact, I was talking to this one guy a couple weeks back, and he was like, well, you shouldn't eat anything after 7. And then some people are like, well, it don't matter what time you eat. Like, where do you fall on the eating time? Is there a time that you should cut off the eating, or
Does that matter?
And we're assuming, let's come from the standpoint of we're eating clean.
So if you're eating clean, it doesn't matter what time you eat, because it's all gonna be good for you. Now, I always use the same example. I've been saying the same joke for 17 years. I say, if your car runs out of gas tonight, are you gonna wait till the morning to eat? No. If your car runs out of gas, you can put gas in it right then and there. Why? Because that's what it needs to function. Well, if you're hungry at night at 10, 11, or 12, that's your body sending a signal saying, I need energy. Feed me.
Yeah.
So why would you starve it? Because in the starvation process, it's going to create fat.
Okay.
So once again, all of these different notions of don't eat after this, don't do this. Who created this stuff? I'm always the person saying, who created it? Who made this story?
Right.
Who's
They
them?
did.
Who's they?
Who is they? And who created this story? Because a lot of stories get perpetuated over time, and we just take it.
Yeah, we just take it.
We just
That's
take
facts.
it. That's
Yeah.
facts. There's nothing. There's no substantial information behind it. You know, let's say it's 10 o'clock at night and you eat a baked sweet potato and some collard greens and drink some clean water. Your body's gonna appreciate that and you're gonna sleep better.
So don't eat the McDonald's fries.
That's what you don't eat at 10 o'clock at night. Yeah.
Don't eat that.
Yeah, that's what gives you the heartburn and the gas. And,
Right.
you know, if you married, you rolling over and her stomach growling and your stomach growling, and everybody look at each other like, okay, so
Don't go get the ice cream.
don't go get the ice cream.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say don't ever have ice cream.
Right.
That's
You know not to say that, right?
No, I'm not gonna say it.
But I think
ain't gonna do that.
the nigga had some ice cream this weekend,
Yeah.
Paul.
I sure
I'm not gonna
did,
say
and I
that.
had a chocolate bowl from Arbor Slab, and it was good.
So-
But I also ate the salmon that you cooked. I
Yeah.
had the cabbage and
Right,
green combination, and
right.
it's delicious. So
Yeah.
we believe in balancing,
Absolutely.
but we appreciate the fact that when we're hungry, we have good food
Clean
to
food
eat,
to
clean
eat.
to eat, and it
Yeah.
tastes good.
Yeah, because the girls don't feel deprived, right?
Right, not
they,
at all.
They still like their stuff. They still like a cheeseburger.
They
every
eat
now
better
and
than
then.
any kid, if you ask
Oh,
me.
well,
They
yeah.
have lamb.
They need to start paying.
Yeah, they got
You-
lamb. They get
I'm like,
sirloin.
What?
Yeah.
Kids? My kids eat like
They
that.
eat sea bass.
On a weekly
it's
basis.
it's some good eating. But we see it
Yeah.
in not only the fact that since we've been working with you,
Yeah.
allergies are
Yeah.
almost non-existent.
Non-existent, yeah.
Like, it is rare. We can tell when they've had a little too much cheese, a little
Because
they've
they
been into
start to
something.
get a little congested.
Yeah, they get
They
more
do.
congested.
We can tell it.
Yeah.
And we remind them.
Yeah.
Chef Paul, I bet you had a lot of cheese this week. Well,
Yeah, you can tell. It's real. And even with me personally, I can tell because normally, especially, it's really weird because I get the summer allergies. And so this time of year, and I guess when
Yeah.
things are more blowing, I used to always have to find some sort of allergy relief medicine.
That's true.
Zyrtec. Run the
Zyrtec.
Zyrtec.
And then it's like my body would get immune to that. I'll build up a resistance or whatever to that. And then next year I'd have to find something different.
Right.
And since we've been working together and since I cleaned out that pantry, so for those of you that want to do 1 or 2, y'all can do that. For those of you like me that just cleaned out the whole pantry,
Yeah, he threw everything,
Everything away.
I threw it all away.
I wouldn't even
I threw it all away.
And
We had a huge trash bag, and I was very upset.
Yeah.
But, you know.
And y'all, this
Oh, no.
is so funny.
What?
I'm gonna pull the curtain back and see. I was there, and I tell people, I say, now don't go throwing away stuff because I don't want nobody looking at me crazy.
I was looking at you crazy. I
And
know I was.
Tanika is looking at me, and then she's looking at Kenny, and her eyes are getting bigger, and I'm like, oh, this ain't going to end
so
well.
I'm cleaning
I'm
out
saying,
the
when I leave, I already know this is not gonna be good. She's
I don't
like,
care.
Pouring out milk. I was like, dude.
I poured the milk out. I cleaned the pantry
I
out,
wanted
bags
to
and
be that step
stuff.
by step person.
So they can talk about, can we don't? Girl, nobody want no open crackers. All this stuff is
See,
gone.
can we donate
It's
to somebody?
gone.
Like,
he is dumping everything. And her eyes are getting wider and wider. She's
That's
like,
true. It's a true story. It's a true story.
Because see, here's my personality. I'm usually all in, right? I don't do toe in. I got thrown into the pool, learned how to swim, right? It's all in. And if I slowly get in, just for me, if I slowly get in, I'm probably not gonna get all the way in, right? I'm gonna keep some back, and I'm gonna start justifying why this is okay. So once I know this is where we going,
yeah.
then we all in.
That's what you did. You was all in.
right.
You y'all in 10 feet.
Yeah,
all in.
That was 12. It felt like 12. Yeah.
Everybody moving forward. We all in. We all in, right?
But we appreciate it.
But it has been life-changing because the girls understand from a healthy mindset of why clean eating is important. That you can still have those meals every now and again.
Because we do.
But we do.
Yeah.
But they also love the stuff that parents will say, well, my kids don't like this vegetable.
We don't
my
have that in our
kids
house.
Don't like that. No.
You know, I'll share the story Thanksgiving when you guys had family in,
Uh-huh.
and she was raving over the rice. She was like, "What kind of rice is this?" And
gotta
I
tell
think
me
it
this
was
rice.
Taylor that was sitting on the couch. I said, "Oh, that's veggie rice." And Taylor said, "We didn't eat vegetable rice."
She did. She did. She sure did. Like, I've been duped.
Stay away.
Yeah.
But she ended up eating it, no complaint.
No complaint. Love it.
Love
Love
it.
it. And don't mess around and put some of your chicken in it. It's,
Right.
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's just really just education on my end. So, quick plug for all of you that are watching this, go follow me at pritter2355 on Instagram,
Yep.
paulritterteaches.com. Go to my website, give us your email address because we send out lots of good information to you. And Paul Ritter Facebook, LinkedIn, so quick plug.
I love it.
You know, we have a lot of business owners and want to be business owners that watch the podcast. And let's shift the conversation a little bit, right? And talk about business for a second. So running your own organization, right? Where you're the face of that organization. And dealing with clients who oftentimes don't want to take the advice, right? They ask you for the advice, but then they don't turn around and do it.
Right.
How do you deal with a client like that? How can you deal with a client that you know you're the expert, they came to you, you're giving advice, but now they think they know better?
Well, you know, for just in business in general, I think you have to get to a point where you're secure enough in your own information and your own knowledge of what you teach that you can give it away and not have, listen to, I'll only give 2 words. You give it away and you don't have a concern, but you care.
Understandable.
Because when you give it away with concern, there's worry attached to it.
Okay.
When you give it away with care, you say, "Now I gave it to you." Kind of like a preacher on Sunday. They preach, they walk out the door. They like, "I done told you."
What the Lord told me.
What the Lord told me to tell you. But so I think you just have to separate that as a business owner. You have to be emotionally stable, where you can give people the information and care. But you're not gonna go to bed sleeping on it. I used to do that.
I'm about to say, have you always been? I was about to ask, have you always been that way?
Every once in a while, I'll get a message from somebody.
When did you make that transition?
Yeah, how did you make that transition?
Yeah.
I would give the credit to someone that has always mentored me from afar and is mentoring me again, Gloria Mayfield Banks.
We love Gloria. Big shout out to Gloria.
Yeah, big shout out. She just had a way of language with me that I learned. And one of the things she said to me one time, I was like, Gloria, and she said, "Are you complaining or are you presenting me with a challenge?" I was like, "Oh, And so I learned from her language.
Okay.
And the language that you put to something determines the energy you give it. So instead of saying, I'll never forget, she said, never say you're frustrated, say you're fascinated. Because that creates energy in your brain to get a solution.
That's good.
You know, and things like that. So I just had to change the language that I said to myself so I could release myself from other people's work.
Good, Paul.
Because if I give it to you, and you don't want to do it. Well, now I can't lose sleep over
No,
it.
you can't.
Yeah.
Why would you?
Yeah.
Why would you?
Yeah.
But we do
Yeah, often.
all the time. And so for business owners, I think you have to get to the point where you're emotionally stable and then also have a level of consciousness and security in what you're giving people.
Yeah.
That this is the best you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
This is the best you're going to get. And once you get it, you don't have to worry about it. I shared with you guys the first time we met, I said, I'm going to tell you what's right now. I want you to go fact check me, but you're going to come back and say,
He was right.
my bad.
Yeah.
And so there comes a level, just like in your business,
Yeah.
in your industry, you're not sitting on top because you're not confident. You're sitting on top because you did the work.
That's right.
And the work breeds confidence.
You better believe
So
it.
then you can say, well, now I'm going to tell you how this is going to roll out.
Whether you believe me or not, it's on you.
Yeah.
That's
You know, so you bring up a good point there in doing the work, right?
got to do the work.
We meet so many wannabe business owners.
I want to
that-
be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I want to run my own thing.
I'm the boss.
Yeah.
I'm the boss.
Yeah.
But then they have this unrealistic expectation of the work it takes to do it. Somehow, I don't know if it's a TikTok. I don't know what it
It's
is.
a TikTok.
Somebody done told you people you don't have to put in that much effort or work, but you can retire rich. Come on. I ain't even got to finish the question.
Look, so,
I ain't
you
asking
know,
a question.
I think part of it is social media driven.
Oh, absolutely.
But then the other side of that is being an entrepreneur is hard.
Say it louder. I mean, because people don't.
Being an entrepreneur is hard.
Yeah. Hard work.
But I tell people, you work hard for somebody else.
It's that right there.
So why would you shortchange yourself?
But people do it all the time.
People do it all the time.
Yeah.
And I think because we're in a society where everybody wants things in 3 minutes, you know, I was sharing with another young lady that's starting her own business. And I said, let me tell you something. She was like, well, I want to do this technology. I want to get this my website. I said, that's not going to build your business. People build your business.
Right.
That's it.
And I am big on people. I am now into social media.
Yeah.
But social media doesn't give me my relationships. Social media doesn't allow me to walk into certain rooms that other people can't walk in. So for all of you that are building business, I don't care what it is. If you sell, you need to build quality relationships. And the first tip I can give you to that is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So in building any relationship or business, you got to show people that you care past the cost. Because they're going to pay you for a service, but you got to show them that you care past that cost.
Yeah.
You know, a young lady that I've been mentoring and this and that, I was sharing a story with her. I said, she was with me one day, and you guys met Keisha, and I said to her, talking about another client, I said, when I go in, I'm going to ask about her daughter and watch her response, because this was a new client. So I got in that person's house. I said, how's your daughter? She said, oh my God, thank you for asking. She just started a new job. She's doing great. And it led to a conversation about her daughter. And she said, you knew that was going to happen. I said, yes, because I want her to feel that I'm invaluable to her. And the more value you build in, the more value you get out.
But you were sincere in it.
It was sincere.
Yeah,
It was absolutely
you
sincere.
really wanted to
I
know.
really wanted to know, yeah.
And it's a lost art nowadays because I don't think some people
Yeah.
have lost the value in one-on-one relationships.
Absolutely.
Because they text all the time. Nobody picks up the phone or goes to visit anyone anymore.
Absolutely.
And there's a lost art to that, and you lose the essence of that connectivity sometimes.
Yeah, communication is
Yeah.
key. You know, I always say this generation, no offense, y'all 30 and under crowd, y'all in trouble because y'all can't communicate. But in communication, though, it's listening.
Oh yeah.
And
a huge part
it's
of it.
hearing what's not being said.
Said.
So I think part of building a business, you got to be a great listener. You have to be a great listener. Because if I came into your house and you're telling me, going back almost 2 years, you were like, well, I like this and I like that, and I don't make you anything that's similar to that, I'm not going to be in your house long.
Right.
That's
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So I think for all you business owners out there, you got to build your skill. You got to do the work. It's a lot of late nights. It's a lot of stuff that you don't even understand yet
Yeah.
that's coming down the road. But on the other side, you got to build quality relationships. You got to become a great listener. You have to become invested in people.
That's good.
And when you make that investment long enough, the return comes back more than you could ever imagine.
Yeah. Paul, how do you juggle? So, and here's what I mean by that. So you have obviously the business you're taking care of. Beautiful wife. And we're not just saying that because she's here. Beautiful wife. Your family is with you all, the parents. And you're building and growing, and then you still have you, the person.
And businesses.
Right.
And business.
Yeah, multiple companies. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
How do you juggle? How does one juggle that?
So you use the word that I don't ever use, but this your show, so you use all the words you want to use. But I'm gonna come back to it now. I never say be balanced. I stopped using that word.
Yeah, we could.
20
That's
years
a facade.
ago.
I said it's a facade. That's not true.
Because balance does not mean equal. I try to live a harmonious life, and the way I explain that, I say, when you're making a cake, you're not gonna put 2 eggs and 2 teaspoons of sugar. You put a little bit of what's required. So in juggling all these different things, some days you gotta do a little more here, some days you gotta do less here, some days you gotta do more here, some days you do there. Is it planned all the time? No. You know, yesterday I literally had a plan. I was gonna come home. I got home early. I was gonna work on what I was gonna say for y'all today, and I was gonna work on the meeting I had earlier today. But I checked the temperature of my home, and when I came in, my wife was home just chilling all day, and she's very sensitive. She's like, "I know you want to do, you said you're gonna do that, but she likes when I'm home."
Of course.
And I sense that. So
That you have been missed.
so then instead of digging into stuff that would have been more productive, I just kind of put it down.
Good.
And it was great. So to answer your question, you just got to have harmony in it. You got to do here, there, now. The other side of harmony is you may be out at 2 in the morning working
Yeah. Yeah.
because you decided to do something else chill here. So in that harmony, you just have to find your sweet spot. Everybody has their own sweet spot.
Because the work still got to get done.
Work got to get done. Bills got to be paid. Baby need diapers.
So you're finding the harmony, and for you, what does success? How are you defining success? That you're being successful at what you're doing.
For me, success. I'm taking another word.
Okay.
I want to be significant.
Break that down, because that's good.
Success could be waking up in the morning for some people. Significance is when I am gone,
That's good.
you will still know the work was there and the work is being carried on. So for me, I think I'm successful. I don't know if I've reached a level of significance yet. So that's what I strive towards every day, being significant.
Yeah.
Because then there's a legacy that's left.
Right.
And in that legacy, they'll say, oh, wow, I wouldn't have been here if I hadn't learned that.
Good.
And in that, for me, that's what my guide is.
Yeah.
Have you become significant? Now, there's a time when I want to say I'm significant. There's a time stamp on that.
Yeah, we got some goals. Right.
But it hasn't happened yet, but we're working towards that.
Absolutely.
And that keeps me going every day.
Great
Because
show up,
the grind is real. We don't all show up like this with the makeup and the nice
What?
every day.
That ain't how that works.
No, really not.
Yeah, we rather behind the scenes.
There's a different way we
We
show
ain't
up to
camera.
work every
You
day.
don't just wake up camera ready.
No.
Oh, okay. These
So-
people just magically appear.
No. Because everything has a cost to it.
Yeah.
You ain't lying.
So for that entrepreneur, you just, for me, it's just being significant.
Yeah.
And significant is a cost that comes with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a cost that comes with it.
It's facts.
You know, there's many times I know, just speaking transparently with my wife, I know she'd be like, what time you coming in tonight? What time is the hot?
You got one more client. What you mean?
Yeah, another one after you. But that's the cost. And I'm grateful that she has bought in to that.
Absolutely.
So just like you two have bought it.
Absolutely.
Y'all sold out for the cost.
Yeah, we understand that completely.
Yeah. So
And we there, like we're still growing and expanding. And if I have to take a Houston trip, sometimes the nigga be like, here we go again. You know? Why we gotta do this again? right? Because it does feel good to know that you are wanted in a place, and that someone does care enough to miss your presence.
absolutely.
How do you juggle with sometimes, if you juggle with it, sometimes the guilt of being gone, and you know you're doing it for what you need to do it for, you know you're expanding, you know you're building, yet still that part of you that wish you were.
I think for me goes back to how we program ourselves.
Yeah.
The guilt, you just have to shift the language. You just have to shift the language, because if you don't, that will wear you down.
Out, yeah.
And that will make you more fatigued
Yes.
than the physical labor,
Yeah.
because the mental strain. So I think we just have to be real conscious on the language we use when we're in those moments. You know, we have to, because if not, the mental aspect will wear you down more than the physical.
That's true. That's true.
So I think it's just going back to how we speak to ourselves, which is, there's a great book out there for all you entrepreneurs. It's called What I Say When I Talk to Myself.
Oh,
That's
snap.
good.
And it's by Chad Hemstetter. It's an amazing book. I've had it since I was 18.
Really?
And it is a dynamic book on language and what you need to speak to yourself to move you to get where you need to go.
Paul, prior to cooking, prior to this journey that you're currently on, what did you do?
Prior to being in the health field,
Okay, y'all ready for this?
yeah, this is a flip. I was in the
Or is it?
I was in the cosmetic industry.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
was a sales director, beauty consultant with Mary Kay for 18 years,
Wow.
won 7 free cars, won lots of diamonds.
Wow.
But, you know, God has such a unique purpose for our lives, because that building ground gave me the confidence. It put me in front of people, relationships. And so that was literally my breeding ground
Absolutely.
to catapult me, because when I started my business, I took a lot of those same principles. God first,
Sure.
family second,
Yep.
career third. And so I was in the makeup industry, y'all, for 18 years. So yes, I can beat that face still today. I don't do it very often, but every once in a while, the right person will get me out of retirement and I'll do something for them. But yeah, I did it, and I was highly successful at it.
Yeah.
But God had another plan. You know, I think all of our lives have different plans
Yes.
for certain times.
And
there's
seasons, right?
and there's a fork for all of our lives at different times. It might be at 20, and then another fork comes at 30, and then another fork comes at... You started this.
You ain't lying. After 40.
Bingo.
Sure did.
And killing the game. So
A whole nother career.
a whole nother career. So I think we just have to be sensitive to that movement.
Yeah.
Was that a scary jump?
Yes, because the jump from cosmetic to health wasn't planned.
Right,
It was a heart attack.
Yeah.
right.
It was no plan
Yeah.
on being, oh, now I'm going to teach health. No, that wasn't the plan. The plan
Not at
was
all, right?
get mom healthy so I could go back to
What I do.
what I do, and I never got back.
Yeah.
I never got back. But, you know, the Bible says a good man steps in order.
Absolutely.
So I run with that. I know everyone is sent to me for a specific purpose, reason, purpose, time. So now I'm used to being uncomfortable and not knowing where I'm going every day. You know,
That's your thing, right?
That's it. I don't know what my wife said. I don't know. Then the phone rings or yes. So you just have to get used to. Also, you're an entrepreneur. You got to get used to being uncomfortable. Just have to get-
Right now, if somebody's interested in your services, what kind of services do you provide? We're going to remind them how to contact you, but why should somebody and how can somebody get in contact with you?
You can reach me through my website, paulrennerteaches.com. You can reach me on Instagram. My services are multifaceted. I think I don't say this braggingly, but I am bragging. I'm a unicorn in this industry
Okay.
because I consult with you.
Yeah.
I take you shopping.
Okay.
I'll come prepare your food, or I'll teach you how to do it. And there is nobody in Dallas-Fort Worth that does what I do. So it's a multifaceted approach, and I meet you where your need is. For Kenny and Tanika, they wanted the in-home meal prep, and that's great. For some people, they want the virtual teaching.
Absolutely.
For some people, they just want meal prep to be delivered to them, which I do. So there are 3 different avenues that you can go down to get my service, and then, but it all starts with the consultation.
That's right.
I tell people I don't cook for anybody
Until.
before I get the information on what's going on with you,
Okay.
because
That's
if you just want me to cook regular food, you can go get the chef down the street, or whoever, and
Absolutely.
they can tailor it up and do what it do.
And be good with it. So, Paul, this is gonna be the last question. Tanika took my last question, by the way. I don't know why she's
Share everything.
taking my last question stuff. And she does it to challenge me. That's okay. That's okay. It's all good. So, last question, Paul. If you can give somebody one tip that will change their life, out of all you've experienced, from Mary Kay, from we didn't even talk about the basketball stuff, to the cooking, to the healthy living, to the clean eating, one tip, what would that be?
That is a great question.
That's so broad.
No, but that I like that, because that makes me narrow and look internally of what I lean on every day, and it's gonna come back. You just have to have faith.
That's good.
Period.
The end. Right.
Period.
Yeah.
Faith.
Yeah.
Faith supersedes everything else, and your faith will carry you to wherever you're supposed to go. Because in that faith, you have a certain belief. It's just like my beverage company. You know, when we started getting into where it was a real business, my partner said, "Man, stop making it for everybody." I said, "It's mine. Can't nobody take it." It's because I created it.
Yes.
So I ain't worried about nobody taking it. But that's faith.
Yeah.
And so I believe if it's just one thing, faith, period.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for our RealT listeners, we want to thank you for joining us. We
Yeah.
want to thank you, Paul,
Absolutely.
for
Thank you
taking
so
out
much.
time and joining us
Yeah.
and sharing your insight and sharing your information and doing life with us, man.
Yeah, we are doing life.
We
We
doing
are
life.
absolutely doing life. We're going to be 80, y'all. We like,
You know what I mean?
We're
But still
life.
looking good.
We're still
doing
looking
it.
good.
Uh-huh.
We're good.
Okay.
We're going to be mobile. We're going to be real mobile. Watch out.
Facts.
Facts.
All right, so continue to follow us, subscribe, like, and continue to pour into each other.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we do this, we bring you this information, we bring you the people so that we can pour into you, and hopefully you can take this information and pour into someone else. Because as we work together as a community, we all can do better, learn more,
And grow.
and go further.
That's right.
All right?
Till
Thanks,
next
Paul.
time.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank y'all.
Have a good one.